Bienvenidos a La Palma!
Welcome to La Palma, not to be confused with Palma or Las Palmas. This mix-up I found is quite common even among Spaniards. Las Palmas is a city on the island of Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands, and Palma is a city in Mallorca in the Balearic Islands. Then there's La Palma, an island belonging to the Canary Islands, also known as La Isla Bonita, which is not the island Madonna was singing about in her song La Isla Bonita. Or is it? So where does this leave us? Well, in a place of beautiful confusion. So much confusion that we expected a week of glorious sunshine, but we were greeted by quite the opposite. Lots of rain and lots of fog. This unexpected weather helped me understand why the island is so vibrantly green and lush. It's the Isla Bonita for a reason, after all. Our sunny expectations, however, crashed so hard they could have started a new earthquake in Mars. So, what do you do when plans fall apart? So, what do you do? Yes, crying is a valid response. Imagine escaping a chilly 9-to-5 routine, dreaming of sun-soaked beaches and reminiscing about those summer days that now feel like a lost dream, only to find rain. Lots of it. But while a good cry can be therapeutic, it won't change the weather. So we decided to adapt, hopping in the car, exploring, and I even tried getting a little abstract with my photography. These are not great, I know. I said I was just trying. Before I continue with this tale, I would like to address my clothing situation. You might notice throughout the video that my fashion is a little limited. I packed for the sun and fun and not for this damp weather, which means there was a lack of hoodies in my bag. So, in honor of my wonderful and overused travel companion, which seems to have more screen time than I ever intended, I think it's time for a quick change. Another option is to stay home, and that's just what happened that first day. We got comfortable and drank a bottle of local white wine that our host kindly left us. He also left some bananas, because there is an abundance of bananas in La Palma, which is the second largest banana producer after Tenerife. There are bananas everywhere, as you will soon be able to see. But a whole week indoors? That didn't sit right with me. As much as I loved that new combination of white wine and bananas, I was not staying home for a whole week. So, what's the best approach? Opportunities eventually show up, and they did. After a storm that seemed to split the heavens, we were greeted by the bluest of skies. Our first stop, a volcano just up the road from our house. We were staying south of the island in Las Indias, Fuencaliente, where you can find two volcanoes, San Antonio and Tenería, the latter having erupted as recently as 1971. Son bananas, todo ahí abajo. Hola, good morning. Hola. We couldn't get enough of this earthquake simulator. By far, one of the best moments of our trip.
You should try it, it's fun. Yeah.
The day was shaping up perfectly, and a hidden spot on the map caught my attention. If the legend was true, this place could turn out to be magical. So we headed up northwest, and on our way we witnessed the scars left by the recent volcanic eruption. In September 19th, 2021, a new volcano was born after the longest recorded eruption in the history of the island, lasting 85 consecutive days. They called this volcano Tajogaite. From this viewpoint, one can easily see the lava trails stretching into the ocean. Our journey, full of winding roads along very steep cliffs where one would think that the slightest mistake would lead you to the next neighborhood. In Spain, the next neighborhood, el otro barrio, means the afterlife. It could be paradise, heaven, or elsewhere, depending on how playful you've been on this earth. But the risky drive was worth it to find Porís de Candelaria, a truly magical fisherman's village built inside a mysterious hidden cave, a pirate's haven, or maybe a place where some locals have their vacation home. The ocean had a strong attitude that day, but when it calms down, one can swim in crystal blue waters. Of course, what goes down must go up, and the hike back to our car seemed to take a year away from my knees. La Palma, with its curvy and steep hills, is not for everyone, so proceed with caution. If you're also prone to car sickness, you might want to stock up on motion sickness pills. I think that will do it, because you don't want to miss these views. We finally had the day we were looking for. We celebrated with a great dinner, with wine and bananas, of course, and went to bed with a smile on our faces, eager for the next day's adventures. But La Palma had other plans. The rain was dampening my spirits. I drove to grab some coffee and thought about how this beautiful island was not showing her best side. But then it hit me. This is La Palma in her truest form, at least for this week. These were the cards we had to play with, and accepting that was key to enjoying the rest of our stay. We embraced the Spanish saying, al mal tiempo buena cara, the exact translation being to bad weather, good face. Essentially, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. As the day ended, the rain stopped, and I managed to sneak in a brief walk, trying to enjoy this fantastic view and the last rays of light. clouds rolled in again. It was not a good day for photography, but there was always tomorrow. I could not come to the Canary Islands and miss the chance of doing some exploration on two wheels. The weather was still a wild card, changing faster than a chameleon on a rainbow, but everything feels better on two wheels and horsepower. My destination, La Cumbrecita viewpoint, at the center of the island, located in the Caldera de Taburiente National Park, and the view promised to be breathtaking. On my way up there, I had this wonderful view of the powerful Tajogaite, so I stopped to steal a photo. Once in La Cumbrecita, the landscape was stunning, but as I was checking some trails, the classic motorcyclist nightmare happened. I left my keys in the ignition. It happens quite often, I'm not going to lie. The hike was longer than anticipated, but the views were just a reward. The intense green of all those pine trees covering the steep mountainsides was unforgettable. One of the things I had planned for that day was to explore the areas affected by the volcano, so I drove down to the newly formed lava beds. Standing there, in the middle of nature's raw power, I couldn't stop thinking how majestic it must be to witness a volcanic eruption and feel the rage of nature in its full essence. But with that majesty also comes uncontrollable destruction. Homes buried by never-ending lava flows, and entire towns evacuated due to toxic gases, leaving their streets hauntingly empty. 2 years have passed since the event, and the community is still doing an outstanding effort to bring everything back to normal. It's a true example of resilience against the face of adversity. Mila had spent the day at the beach in Tajogaite, soaking up the little sun that was available. I was planning to join her, but the roads were blocked for some reason, and the weather was starting to do its thing. Instead, I took a longer ride and soon made my way back home. Another day of adventure was ahead of us. This time, Mila decided to join me for a little motorcycle ride up north. As it is common in the Canary Islands, there is a lot of contrast in vegetation. It's true that La Palma is probably the greenest of all islands, unlike, for example, Fuerteventura or Lanzarote, which are dry and more desert-like, but one can still appreciate the change in scenery, which I always find fascinating in such a little space. The south of the island is mostly desert-like due to volcanic activity, and the northern parts of the island are very humid and dense. But before driving up north, I promised Mila some beach time so she could get her dose of vitamin D for the day. After a tasty lunch, Mila tried the Canary lasagna while I savored some good barbecue turtle. We headed north towards the thick forests of Las Nieves Natural Park. the day was coming to an end, I convinced Mila to make a quick stop at Playa de Nogales, another magical corner in this beautiful island. The journey to Playa de Nogales is an adventure itself with a beautiful scenery. And while La Palma may not be the typical beach destination, this one is really something special, with its black volcanic sand and the rich vegetation against those imposing walls of rock that add a touch of vibrancy. One of the most incredible beaches I've seen, a true paradise. On our last day, I was determined to finish the route of volcanoes, a path that winds through stunning landscapes of volcanic giants. To be clear, just the end of the trail, because the whole thing is about 22 kilometers long, so we'll leave that for another occasion. I also had a couple of rolls of film left, so I grabbed my camera and off we went, through terrain that felt out of this world, like walking on a different planet. Our December getaway came to an end. We woke up and drove around. I finished a roll of film and grabbed something to eat before we made our way to the airport. This vacation was a mix of challenges and discoveries. La Palma, with her unpredictable weather and breathtaking landscapes, taught me to adapt and enjoy the moment. So, when plans go wrong, do you cry, stay home and do nothing, or adapt and wait for opportunities? Maybe you'll do all three. I'll add one more thing. Do your research, and maybe you'll be able to pack according to plan. But also be ready to embrace the unexpected. And as I sit here, I can't shake the feeling that La Palma and I have unfinished business. I think I'll have to go back.